Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Living Free. I'm super excited to interview one of my newest friends, Susan Grove. She is a wife, a mama, an entrepreneur, a lover of Jesus. She wears multiple hats, and I can't wait for her to tell you a little bit more about herself. So let's start with a little bit about you. Tell me something about you.
Thanks. Well, I'm originally from Chicago, born and raised up there. I moved to Texas probably about 14 years ago. I've been married for 18 years to a former Navy man. We met. He was actually training up in Chicago at boot camp, and we met on a blind date. So that's why I say that the Lord really brought us together, because after that blind date, 18 years later, we are still together. We have 2 kids. My son is Jacob, he's 16, and our daughter is Ava, she's 14, and they're both at Rockwall High School. So
that is so cool.
Yeah.
And you're also a business owner here in the Rockwall area. Yeah. I live in the city of Rockwall. I was going to say Dallas, the city of Rockwall. And you live here as well, right?
Yes,
so
yeah.
Very cool. Anyhow, tell me a little bit about your store. How did that come about? How did you step into entrepreneurship?
Excellent. So my store's name is Ava Ray, and we started it about 6 years ago. It was originally online only, and then about 2 years ago we moved into our location right here in downtown Rockwall in the square. And the reason why we started is because I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've always had the itch to be an entrepreneur. Before entrepreneurship, I was in education, higher education, for about 14 years and absolutely loved it. But in the back of my mind, I still wanted to find a way to work with women and help women. So I wanted to open a store where everyone felt welcomed and wanting to come in. And I've often heard from women that when they come to boutiques, they can't shop there or they don't belong there for some reason. So I wanted to get away from that stigma and open a boutique for women to come in so that they would feel confident and beautiful and strong in the clothes that they were wearing all the time. So.
Yes, and so my husband, Tom, actually purchased this shirt for me at your store. And when he brought it home to me, I did not know anything about your story. And of course, I didn't know that it was confident, beautiful, and strong, is that basically your tagline?
Yes,
part of your logo?
Yes.
And that is so neat. So talk a little bit about that. Where did that come from, your desire to empower women and to have them walk out feeling confident, beautiful, and strong?
Sure. I love to mentor women. I've been mentoring women for probably about the past 10 years. And what I would hear from women is that they just didn't feel beautiful in what they were wearing, or maybe they didn't feel beautiful in their skin, or they didn't feel strong, or they felt like they just didn't have things together. And what I realized with women, a lot of it has to do with what we're wearing and how we're presenting ourselves. Like, do we feel comfortable in what we're wearing? Do we feel comfortable in our skin? So I felt that would be a great way for me to connect with women, is to make sure that if you walked into my store and you saw someone that was a size small and maybe you're a size 3X, you could actually wear the exact same clothing and feel beautiful in what you're wearing, confident in what you're wearing. And so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make women feel confident no matter where we're at and in your skin, in your current skin, not where you're trying to get to or what you hope or wish you could be like. I want you to feel beautiful in your skin that you're in now.
And I love that message, because we're so often trying to achieve the society's idea of beauty, culture's idea of beauty, style magazine's idea of beauty, you know, all of those things, and we put so much pressure on ourselves. And the reality is that we are beautiful just as we are, to embrace our inner beauty, our outer beauty, and to walk confidently in who we are. And so I love that message so much. Okay, so tell us a little bit about how you named your store, because that's a really neat story.
Thank you. So my store is named Ava Ray. Often when I'm in the store, people will say, "Are you Ava Ray?" And I was like, "I wish. What a great name." That's not my name, though. My store is named after my kids, though. My daughter's name is Ava, and my son's nickname is Ray. You know, I said his name's Jacob, but he goes by Ray. And it's because when he was young, my mother used to call him Migre, which means my king in Spanish. So I would just shorten it to Ray all the time. And when I was trying to think of a store name, Ava Jacob didn't sound good. I didn't want to leave Jacob out and just name it Ava. I was like, I can't do that. So then I thought, how do I normally address my kids? And one day when we were walking out of the house, I was calling for them and I said, "Ava Ray, let's go." And my husband said, "That's it. That's your store name. It sounds so great together." And it just immediately clicked. So we said it all the time.
Yes, it flows. Yes, it flows so well. And every mother knows when you're calling your kids to get out the door, you're calling them by their full name.
Yes.
For me, it's Nathan Asher, we're leaving. Come on, let's go.
Yes, exactly. So I just figured that was what we wanted to name the store after, and so we
the most natural. Yes,
yeah, and it's the
sense.
reason why I do what I'm doing. So as being a mama, when I was being away from my kiddos, it's hard for me. I have mom guilt, and I think a lot of moms suffer from mom guilt being away, and so I kind of just felt like it was a way of bringing them to my store with me.
That is so cool. Yeah. Can we address a little bit of the mom guilt thing?
Sure.
I really like that topic because I feel like we have been trained, and I don't want to put a blanket statement out there, but I feel like in general, as a whole, most women have been trained that you are to give up 18 years of your life and be Betty Crocker in the kitchen and raise kids and fold laundry for 18 years until they go off to college, and then you can step into the other things that God has for you to do. And so women who feel like they're called to more now struggle with that mom guilt. So can you address some of that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something that it doesn't go away, I don't think, but I want you to feel empowered that we are so blessed to be moms. And no way did the Lord ever want us to feel guilty about still going out there and doing what we wanted to do and accomplish. That's why he put us here to begin with, right? Is to do what we needed to accomplish, but to also be moms so they can still survive in the same space. And have success in both. So I want moms to feel empowered. And if you're thinking, I don't know how to do that, Susan, like my day is full, it's packed all day, reach out to one of us and we will definitely help you navigate that world so that you can feel like you're reaching your goals while still being that mama that's tugging at your heart.
I know, that is so neat. I think about the Proverbs 31 woman, how honestly she did it all.
She did.
She was an entrepreneur while maintaining her home, raising her kids, being a wife, all the things. And so you really can do it all.
You can.
You really can.
You really can.
Yes. So now, speaking of your children, I love the combination of Ava Ray that flows so beautifully for your store and everything that your store stands for in empowering women. But also, I want to talk specifically about your daughter. Can you tell us a little bit about her story?
Absolutely. So Ava is our 14-year-old daughter. She actually has special needs, and she has a syndrome called Angelman Syndrome. So if you're looking to Google it, which I often encourage because I'm a huge advocate, it's actually Angelman. You just kind of put the words together and you will find the syndrome so you can read more about it. But Ava actually is a 14-year-old, loves life, loves to smile, loves to giggle, loves to dance, loves to, if she could sing, I think she would break out in some words, but you always can see her kind of finding the beat to music, and she's just living life large. But she operates probably at about a 2-year-old and does not speak at all, wears diapers, suffers from seizures, and doesn't walk at this time. She crawls for her mobility. So she's absolutely fabulous, but she's one of the main reasons that I went into entrepreneurship and left work full-time is because I wanted to be a mama that could be there for her when she needed me. So that was something that I had to adjust in my life, is that I wanted to be there if the school called and Ava needed to come home or if something was changing. And of course we're 14, so we're hitting a period where her body's changing, and I wanted to make sure that I was there for her in those moments. So
that is so neat.
Having a business helps me to do
that. Absolutely. I think that's a really great point. So also, okay, tell me a little bit about how you discovered, like, when did you realize something wasn't quite right, and that whole discovery journey?
So right when Ava was about 4 months old, she stopped sucking, and I immediately knew something was off. And the doctor was like, "Oh, it's okay. She'll latch back on. Don't worry about it." She didn't latch back on it when we kept trying and different methods, and and you're just kind of getting frustrated as a mom, thinking, what do we need to do? How can I need her to get nourishment. What can I do? So we just started reading different things on Facebook, things on Google, just trying to find out what was going on. And then we started knowing she was missing other mile markers. She wasn't walking, she wasn't crawling, she wasn't sitting up, there was no words coming out. And so we were just kind of thinking something's off. But
even though they were telling you, don't worry, she'll hit the mile markers eventually.
Exactly. The doctors were all saying, don't worry, it'll happen. Or maybe I had a mom friend who's trying to be reassuring, it's okay, Susan, but in my gut, I knew something was off. I had watched Jacob, and I'm watching this being in front of me, this little being at the time, thinking something's off, and I want to find out what's going on with her because I want to help her, not because anything's wrong with her, right? But because I want to make sure that she lives the fullest life, and in order for me to do that, I had to find out what's going on so that we can help her. So we went and took her to a bunch of appointments, and we were just looking for answers. And one day, my husband was on an appointment with her at therapy, and the therapist looked at him and said, "Have you ever heard of Angelman Syndrome?" And he said no. He immediately called me and said, "Hey, Google Angelman Syndrome, see what this is." And as I was on the phone, all I could hear was like me crying on the phone. And he was just like, "What's going on? Is everything okay? Are you okay?" And I was like, "This is it. That you have found it, this is it."
Yes, that relief of I have answers.
Yes, and I have a way to help her. So we left that appointment. I immediately made an appointment with a neurologist and said, "Can we test her for this?" He said no, because he has worked with many Angelman kids before, and there's no way she has it. And I said, "Look, I don't care how much it costs, or if the insurance won't pick it up, we'll make payments. If you could just test her, it would help me so very much." And so when they tested her, it came back about a week later, and yes, she did have Angelman Syndrome. So
wow.
Yeah.
Now, Angelman Syndrome, is that considered to be under the autism spectrum?
Yes, it is. It's definitely under the autism spectrum. And there's many, I think, undiagnosed angels in the world, because so many just don't know that this exists. It's just probably in the past 10 years that it's really gained some recognition. Colin Farrell, the actor, his son has it, so he's brought a lot of attention to the community for us and has done galas and things along with that to help us bring research and just resources, I guess, to that community. So it's really been helpful. But if you feel like your child is missing markers, or if you feel like there's something in your gut that's telling you something's off, please keep looking, keep searching for answers, reach out to different doctors, get second opinions, talk to other mamas out there that have maybe connected with really great doctors in the world. I can tell you, if you're in the Dallas area, I know lots of great neurologists. I know lots of great physical therapists. So if you need resources or need directions of how to get answers, feel free to reach out and I'll connect you.
I remember you sharing this story with me, and you were the persistent mama. I was not, seek, ask, knock, and keep knocking and keep persisting.
Yes, right.
Like, I need answers so I can help my daughter.
And I kept praying to the Lord, and I could just feel like He was saying, that's keep going.
Yeah,
like
keep
you
going.
are here to help her. You are her advocate. So.
Yeah, that is so neat. So how would a mom, is there anything that differentiates, any distinguishing, factors or evidence of this isn't to be clumped in your typical autism spectrum, which I don't want to call it typical, but I feel like most people get clumped into that. So are there some things that are just kind of set apart?
Yeah, with them. So if you Google Angelman Syndrome, you'll start to see kind of the angels, or you can even see Ava on my Facebook page. They all kind of have a similar looking face. And it's really, to me, looks really angelic looking. But they kind of have like wide set eyes. They have a huge smile, like hers is even bigger than me. It's like a huge smile, They have lots of laughter and giggles, might suffer from seizures, and they might not be speaking. So if you feel like or maybe a friend's mom, someone who has a kid that might be along those lines, feel free to Google it, and you'll kind of start to see they're very fair skin, a lot of them are, and then just, like I said, a huge smile. Yeah, whenever I if we're somewhere shopping and I see a child, I'm like, I almost can put a finger on it, that's an Angelman baby. So then I'll go ask the mom, right? Because I just need to know. And they're like, yeah, how did you know? I'm like, because I could see it. It's just like this huge smile that takes the whole space. So yeah.
I love the name of it, Angelman baby. So you'd mentioned that they're called angels. Like, what's your angel's name?
Yeah.
That is so neat.
They're totally angels on earth, because I feel like when you go up, and when I always say this about Ava, when she comes up to me and embraces me, it's not like, but Mom, can I also have Pokemon dollars? You know what I mean? Like, it's no strings attached. It's the most sweetest, purest hug you'll ever get without it. Like, it's just, I want to hug you and love on you, Mom. So, they're definitely angels. I say angels on earth. They're fabulous. So.
Yes, with their own unique and special abilities. Yeah. So how is Ava doing now? She's 14 and she's in high school?
She's in high school and she's rocking it. And this was new for her, again, being a freshman in high school. But she is loving it, made a wonderful transition, fabulous teachers to work with. And again, I encourage moms that you stay really involved in that high school learning, or in that learning with any teachers. So if you have a child, or especially with special needs, be on that teacher side. So being an advocate doesn't always mean being on the other side. Sometimes it means just joining in with the teachers and saying, hey, I'm here to support you as you support my child. So
so how would moms who are just now discovering that this might be what their child has, which actually, explain a little bit of the chromosome thing.
Yeah, so for Angelman Syndrome, it's actually, so we have the X and Y, right, for chromosomes. It's the X chromosome that has just a slight bit of deformity in it that makes it still strong enough for the egg to grow and develop inside of you without, miscarrying. And so for our family, Angelman Syndrome does not exist anywhere in it. None of our
Wow.
No one in our line. We've looked and nowhere it hasn't happened. But that's why I just say they're angels. They're meant to be on earth because the Lord's like, this baby's coming out and they're going to change the world.
That's right. I love that so much. So back to my original question. How would a mom that is noticing some of the things that you just mentioned, how would they go about getting support or help? Where do they look? Things of that nature.
Sure, yeah. I would definitely start with your pediatrician and ask them for resources. And then the next thing is if you kind of have like a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, the schools, the public schools actually have assistance for you as well. So you can reach out. And they've actually started school full time at 3 years old. So they actually start them out early so they can get speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, so they can kind of start right away in that system. And then the schools will also help you just kind of connect with local or maybe even state level resources that you can do. So if you're in Texas, I'm more than happy to connect you with any of the connections that I have. But even if you're not in Texas, please feel free to reach out with me because I am a part of what we call the Angelman Network, which means we have mamas that have come together on Facebook and we're huge advocates. So if you tell me what state you're in, I can connect you with a mama that is willing to help you. I know it. Their community is all about
the Angel Network. That is so cool. I love it so much. So much. Okay, well, how do you do all the things that you do? I mean, how do you run a business while taking care of a child that has special abilities and raising another son as well? Both of them teenagers.
Yeah, both of them teenagers for sure. So I guess everyone says, what's your secret recipe? Like, what do you do, right? The thing that I do is I fuel me first, right? And so that means I'm making sure that I am operating and fueling that battery, make sure my battery is operating at 110% so that I can give that back out to either my work, my husband, my kids, or everything that I'm doing, my friends. And so I do that for me personally. I love meditation. It's a huge source of my just refueling my working out. Is another one. Working out, I love it, going for walks. But just taking time for me is what really actually helps me to have the energy to do everything that I need to do in life.
100%. I'm the girl that I need my gym time. Like, just let me go to the gym, even if it's 30 minutes, 4 to 5 days a week. If you want me to be a better wife, a better friend, and a better mama. I need my me time. That's how I stay sane.
Exactly. Yes. Absolutely.
And earlier we were talking about the example of when you're on an airplane and the flight attendant's giving you the whole spiel on safety, etc. If the cabin pressure drops and the masks drop, you're supposed to put yours on first before you can help anyone else.
Yeah.
So it's a really good point that you're making, because if we're not taking care of ourselves as moms, if we're not fueling ourselves, if we're not pouring in, like, how are we pouring out if we're running on an empty tank?
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think it's very important that be one of your takeaways, that regardless of where you're at in life, whether you have an Angelman baby or not, that you're always fueling yourself, taking care of yourself. And what's one of the things that you always tell the women that come and talk to you?
Yeah, so I love to mentor women, and the first thing I say to them, or I kind of ask, and I say, who is the number one person in your life? And right away, I would say 95% of the answers go, my child, my husband, someone along those, something along those lines. And I always say, you guys, it has to be you. You have to be the number one person in your life, not in a selfish way by any means, but in a way to make sure that you're fueling your battery, fueling yourself so that you can give 110% to everyone out there that you're impacting. And so one lady said to me, well, what about God? He's the number one person in my life. And I said, me too, because he's right here.
That's right.
He's inside of me, so I'm making sure that I'm fueling right there, because he's really important to me as well. And so that's why I say, if everyone's important to you, make sure you have to fuel yourself so that you can give that energy out to other people. So absolutely.
Yes, that's so good. And that's such a big paradigm shift. I mean, ladies, as you're listening, as you're watching, you're probably nodding your head, because most of us have been trained to think that we're supposed to give up 18 years of our life. We're supposed to be Betty Crocker. We're supposed to do all these things and serve everyone else. And yes, we are to serve people, but the first person you need to be taking care of is yourself, because how else are you going to pour out to others? So,
amen. Oh, that's so true. I mean, I say that over and over again, and I know women struggle with it, and some women say, my husband has a demanding job. Reach out to a friend. Ask her, like, hey, can we arrange 3 times a week where I can watch your kids and you can watch my, reach out to kids, reach out to churches, find out where they're offering just, Mother's Day out. Take advantage of those type of things so that you have time to fuel your cup.
Yes, having those moments. I want to say something kind of funny. Whenever my child is at home, summers are different than when they're in school.
Sure.
But any mamas spend a little extra time in the bathroom?
All the time.
I mean,
Like, I sometimes just leave the water on just a little bit longer because I'm like, if they hear the water, they know that I'm busy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still in the shower. Don't come in yet. So my husband laughs at me because he knows. But you need that. And don't feel guilty. You know what I mean? Take a minute and have grace with yourself and know that in order for you to give everything that you need to give in the world, you need to take just those moments to replenish.
yes, just moments to replenish,
Yeah.
refuel, recharge, so that you can be the best version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, very cool. Well, how would people follow you if they want to do that?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, just Susan Grove. I'm out there. You can find me underneath my business, so Ava Ray and Rockwell. So it's AVA. REY, so Ray spelled a little bit differently maybe than some of the southern spelling, I should say. But yeah, so you can find me on Facebook. I'm definitely out there, Instagram, and just reach out to me, send me a message. There is nothing that I won't talk. Please know that I am here to help and to give, provide resources any way possible, because I remember being in those moments where I felt lost, and if it wasn't for a community of women who brought me together, I don't think I would be here at this moment. So
Yeah, and she's telling you the truth. Whether you need help with Angelman Syndrome, or you need help with entrepreneurship, or you need help as a mama, whatever,
higher education.
Yes.
So, yeah, I got my PhD probably about 3 years ago. So if you're going through anything along the lines with education, or you want to go back to school, I'm a huge advocate for that as well. It's never too late. That's always my motto. It's never too late. It's never too late if you want to start education, if you want to start your own business, whatever you want to do, reach out, and I am here to help.
Yes, that is so cool. One final question for you is related actually to entrepreneurship.
Okay.
How has your store, has being, having Ava Ray, how has that blessed your family?
Oh, in huge ways. I think just being able to see me come into who I needed to be, who I've been wanting to be, who I've been yearning to be, them watching me go through that and seeing the happiness that it's brought into my life and to help other women through my store, I think that has impacted them the most. I think that's what my husband will say. He's like, especially after the year with COVID, where financially owning a business maybe wasn't the best, but I mean, still it was just fueling my cup, walking into that store and working with women. And if you walk into my store, I'll have a conversation with you about anything, and it's just helping women is definitely something that fuels my cup. So he's been able to see me take that energy and turn it back in to just being the mom and the wife that my family needs me to be even more. So
yeah, isn't that so neat? That's even part of taking care of you.
Yeah,
because as you're coming alive and you're empowering other women, you're able to go home with joy and excitement and pour out,
because it impacts all sorts, all avenues of life. So that's what everyone thinks. Oh, if I do this, I'm going to take away. In reality, you're really going to give back so much more that you haven't even known.
Oh, that is so good. Thank you so much for this time together. I really appreciate you speaking to our viewers, our listeners, and you guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We're happy to, be in contact with you, message you back if you have any questions. Well, thank y'all for joining. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next episode. Have a blessed day. Bye.